let's go. We're going to do a quick review of our 10 and 11 multiplication and division. So we're just going to do it like super quickly. So we're going to do 0 times 10 equals 0, 1 time, and we're going to go quickly so we don't take too long. Okay, ready? Let's go. 0 times 10 equals 0, 1 times 10 equals 10, 2 times 10 equals 20, 3 times 10 equals 30, 4 times 10 equals 40, 5 times 10 equals 50, 6 times 10 equals 60, 7 times 10 equals 70, 8 times 10 equals 80, 9 times 10 equals 90, 10 times 10 equals 100, 11 times 10 equals 110, 12 times 10 equals 120. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And we're going to do our 11 multiplication table. Head, shoulders, knees, toes. 0 times 11 equals 0. 1 times 11 equals 11. 2 times 11 equals 22. 3 times 11 equals 33. 4 times 11 equals 44. 5 times 11 equals 55. 6 times 11 equals 66. 7 times 11 equals 77. 8 times 11 equals 88. 9 times 11 equals 99. 10 times 11 equals 110. 11 times 11 equals 132. 12 times 11, 121. 12 times 11 equals 132. Ugh, I messed up again every time. All right, 11 times 11 equals 121. 12 times 11 equals 132. We did it in like a minute and a half. Okay, now we're going to do our 10 division table, and we're going to do it in football voices. 0 divided by 10 equals 0. 10 divided by 10 equals 1. 20 divided by 10 equals 2. 30 divided by 10 equals 3. 40 divided by 10 equals 4. 50 divided by 10 equals 5. 60 divided by 10 equals 6. 70 divided by 10 equals 7. 80 divided by 10 equals 8. 90 divided by 10 equals 9. 100 divided by 10 equals 10. 110 divided by 10 equals 11. 120 divided by 10 equals 12. And we're going to do, we have to do kind of like princess style, I feel like, because it's only fair. All right, so we're going to do 11 division table, princess style. 0 divided by 11 equals 0. 11 divided by 11 equals 1. 22 divided by 11 equals 2. 33 divided by 11 equals 3. 44 divided by 11 equals 4. 55 divided by 11 equals 5. 66 divided by 11 equals 6. 77 divided by 11 equals 7. 88 divided by 11 equals 8. 99 divided by 11 equals 9. 110 divided by 11 equals 10. 121 divided by 11 equals 11. 132 divided by 11 equals 12. Very good job. All right, so next thing I want to do is review some of our reducing. So thinking carefully. Most of you are starting to get these pretty well, but some of you are stopping at like the number right before. So make sure to reduce all the way down. Remember, start with the top number. If I can divide both numbers by 6, then I'm good. But if I can't, that's when I go down. 5, no. 4, no. I could do the bottom by 4, but not the top. 3, oh yeah. Oh wait, no, not the bottom. 2, oh, I guess I'll have to go with 2. Okay, that's what I want you to do. So thinking that through carefully. Plus, we learned to go ahead and do, okay, what can we multiply by 6? Well, obviously we can do 1, we can do 2, we can do 3, we can do 6. Okay, and then you do the same thing with 8. We can do 1, we can do 2, we can do 4, we can do 8. And then you go and circle the number that is the biggest number that is similar in both parts, and that would be 2 for both. Okay, so remember those, because those will help you hopefully think that through very carefully. Okay, good. 1/4, because you can do both by 6. Like I said, start with that top number. That will help. Good. 2/5, super. 2/3, good job. Good. 1/3, 1/4, 1/4 again, 1/3, good, 2/3, and 2/3 again, 1/3, super. That was quick. Oops, wait. this one. Good, 2/5. Good, super job, guys. Good, we know our 1/2. Those are the easy ones. Good. 1/3 again, good. 1/2. Good, 1/4. Oh, these 1/2s are all over the easy ones. Good, 1/2 again. Good, 1/3. Super, 2/5, good. 2/5 again, and last one, 3/4. Good job. So keep practicing those to when they're on your page, really think them through. And you could always write off to the side those numbers that that you have to multiply in order to get to those numbers. Circle the highest one that's in both, and that will help you to know what to divide by. So we're going to quickly do some review of our mixed numbers. We've got some mixed numbers that we're going to add and subtract. Remember, when we are adding or subtracting mixed numbers, we always start with the fraction side. So we're going to start with our fraction side. This one is 72 3/4. By the way, look at how I'm writing them, third grade. This is what I keep trying to remind you. Notice how when I write my 72, it's the same size, kind of, you know, as my 3/4. It's not like I didn't write my 72 right here really small and right next to my 3, because then it starts to look like 723/4 instead of 72 3/4. So please look at that carefully when you're writing them. I'm trying to give you little hints and warnings, because I'll start kind of having to either take off or do something, because if you're going to continue on and write them for other people, they need to be able to read them very carefully. So make sure you're doing that. Okay. So we start with our fraction side, 3/4 minus 2/4. Very simple, 1/4, very good. And then I start just like we normally do, from my right to my left. Oh, we look at our 2, and we always have to do what with subtraction, third grade? Check the top. What do? Check the top. Always check the top. Make sure to check the top, because if our top number is smaller, we can't see how many 8s that we can take away from 2. If I have 2 pieces of pie, how can I give 8 of them away and still have something left over? Not going to happen. Mr. One's place has 8 friends, 2 pieces of pie. He's in trouble, because they're not going to be happy. So cross him out. Put the same number up top, my 2. So I remember 2, it's 2, okay? Then I come over to Mr. 10, Mr. 10, Mr. 10, can you please let me borrow some of your pie? Why do you always come bother me? Well, because you only have 1 friend, and you have 7 pieces of pie. I have 8 friends, and I only have 2 pieces of pie. Are you really going to be condescending to me right now? No, I just need to borrow. Please, can I? Okay, so you know the whole story, right? So you take 1 away from Mr. 10, and that 10 goes to Mr. 1. Now we put that 1 in front of my 2, which makes 12, because one of those 10s goes to the 1's place. Now that my 1's place is big enough, my number on the top is big enough, now I can subtract. 12 minus 8, very good, it's 4, and 6 minus 1 is 5. So my answer is 54 1/4. Very good. And then at my bottom problem here, just want to make sure you can see it, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit. All right, we have 890 4/14 plus 405 7/14. So start with our fraction side, 7/14, 4/14 plus 7/14. Right, all you're going to add is going to be the numerator. The denominator stays the same the whole time. We don't change the denominator, only the numerator. Then we simply add 0 plus 5, 9 plus 0, and 8 plus 4, And because we have 4 numbers here, put my comma. Now, some of you are putting a comma, even if it was just 2 numbers, because you're counting the 11/14. No, no, no. Remember, it's 4 numbers in the whole numbers place. Then we put our comma, okay? Ones, tens, hundreds, comma, thousands. And that's what you would have. So we have 1,295 and 11/14, okay? Now, I want you to take out a scrap sheet of paper. Don't worry, it's not going to be quizzing how fast you can get this done. I just want you to look at it and try to work these out with me, okay? So the first one is 435 divided by 4. 435 is in the house. 4 is on the outside of the house. And then the second problem is 782 divided by 6. 782 divided by 6. And what you're going to do is you're going to divide with me, but whatever answer is in the remainder, you have to write as a fraction. So if there's a remainder, you write it as a fraction. So go ahead and start working on that. I'm going to be working on this one. We have to look at the first digit in the ones place, and we are in the hundreds place, but we look at the first digit in our dividend, and we see, is it the same or larger than my outside number? Well, it's the same. So if it is the same, as long as it's not smaller, I can divide into it. How many 4s are in 4? Make 1, 2, 3, 4 marks, circle every group of 4, and count the circles to figure out your answer. You know it's 1. And we multiply. 1 times 4, our little pickle. 1 times 4 equals 4. We write it underneath. Then we subtract. After we divide, we have to multiply. And then the third step of our 5 steps of division. Okay, make sure you were saying it. You subtract, you bring that answer down, and then you compare. After we compare, we bring down. Once we bring down, we have to divide all over again. So now we have to figure out how many 4s are in 3. Make 3 marks and circle every group of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There is no 4. I can't circle a group of 4, Miss Monroe. It can't be done. You're not allowed to say can't, because that is not a 3rd grade word at all. So we are not going to be able to figure out how many 4s are in 3, because there are no 4s in 3, but that is a number. And what number is that? Yes, that number would be 0. There are 0 4s in 3. See, you can do it. And then after I divide, I have to multiply. I multiply my new number times my outside number. 0 times 4 is 0. And then I have to subtract for the second time. 3 minus 0 is 3. And then I compare for the second time. Draw my arrow to make sure this is less. Some of you are doing what you say is comparing, but then you end up with like a 5 or a 6 here. That means you didn't compare properly. When you look, this number has to be smaller. That's why we compare. Very important. Then bring down. Bring down the 5 next to my 3, and now I have a whole new number that I'm dividing. How many 4s are in 35? Make 35 marks. If you don't know 3rd grade, you know how to do that. And I'm not going to do it on here because I really don't want to take up the room, but, well, I guess I could do it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. 35 marks. And circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 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 circle. 1, 2, 3, oh, can't do it. Okay? And then I count my circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 circles. That means how many 4s are in 35? There are 8. And I put my 8. My answer always goes on the top. After I put my 8 on the top, I divide, then I have to multiply for the third time. 8 times 4 equals 32. And then I already have my answer to my subtraction problem by what's left over down here, because there's 3 little marks left over. So I know now that my answer is 3, my remainder. But we're not writing the remainder as remainder 3. We simply write, we don't put an R here either. We simply write 3 as our numerator, draw my little line for my fraction. My divisor, what I'm dividing by, becomes my denominator. 108 3/4. Okay? Hopefully you got that. I wanted you to be working on it. Don't just wait for me. I want you to work on it even faster than I am. Okay? Then 782 divided by 6. How many 6's are in 7? Because 7 is bigger than 6, so we can go into it. 1 times 6, subtract, compare, bring down. How many 6's are in 18? 3, multiply, 6 times 3, 18, compare, bring down. How many 6's are in 2? 0, multiply, times 6 is 0, subtract is 2, let's see, sorry, and then compare, it is less, nothing left to bring down, so 2 is my remainder, but it becomes my fraction. My 2 goes on the top, and my 6 goes on the bottom. 130 2/6. Hopefully you got that. Now the last thing that I want to show you really quickly, because I don't want to take too much time, and I know it's getting long already, is today's lesson is we can divide money. And dividing money is just like we would divide anything else, except for we have to put our dollar signs and our decimal points, okay? So when we're looking at dividing our money, let me just make sure, the same that we divide other numbers, we use our 5 steps of division. But before we even begin working, we bring the decimal point right into its place. Just draw it right up there. That's what I wanted to check and see if they wanted to have you do that. So just bring the decimal point already there. So it's right there, ready to go as you are working, okay? So we have to look at my first digit. Is my 5 smaller than or the same as my 6? Well, because it's smaller than my 6, I can figure out how many 5s go into 6 because 6 is bigger. So how many, count by 5s until you get to 6 or something close to 6 without going over, or make 6 marks, circle every group of 5. How many groups would you have? 1. 1 times 5 equals 5. Write it underneath so you can subtract. 6 minus 5, 1. Compare, is 1 less than 5? It is. Once I do that, then I may as well bring it closer. Oh, this is super long. I will subtract, or excuse me, bring down, which is bring down the 5. So now I have a new number, which is 15. Now I figure out how many 5s are in 15, which is going to be 3. I write it above that 5, right next to my decimal point. Now I multiply again. 3 times 5, 15. So I can subtract. 0, compare again. Bring down again. Bring down that 0 next to the 0 that's there. Okay, we just keep dividing, just like we normally do. You don't have to bring the decimal point down. The decimal point is already here. So now it's how many 5s are in 0? Obviously, 0. And we still have to multiply again. 0 times 5, 0. 0 minus 0, 0. Very good. Compare, how is 0 less than 5? It sure is. And then we bring down again our 5 next to our 0. And now, how many 5s are in 5? Very good. 1. Multiply again. 1 times 5, 5. 5 minus 5, 0. Compare, is 0 less? And if there's nothing left to bring down, we're done. But 13.01, what is that? Right, I need to bring my dollar sign up next. so that I know that this is $13.01, okay? So if I have 6505 divided by 5 people, I know that every person is going to get $13.01, okay? That's all that is. So thinking carefully, we're going to do the next one, and then I will let you go, so because this is so long. All right. Let me see if I can bring it down a little bit too, so that maybe you'll see that second problem better. There we go. Okay. So now it's $15.40 divided by 7. And this is why I wanted to make sure to do this one, because my first digit in my dividend is too small. I cannot figure out how many 7s are in 1. There are no 7s in 1, okay? If I make 1 mark and circle every group of 7, there is no 7. So when I can't go into the first digit, oh, first thing we do, sorry, put up your decimal point right above, okay? First thing we do is go into both digits, 15, because we can't just skip over 5. We have to go into 15. So how many 7s are in 15? So count by 7 till you get to 15 or close enough to it without going over, which you should know is 2. My 2 goes closest to the decimal point, because it's not going over my 1, it's going to go over my 5 because I went into both numbers, 15. Then I multiply 7 times 2, 14, 15 minus 14, 1, compare, it is less, bring down my 4, and now I'm going to divide how many 7s are in 14. Well, obviously, again, it's going to be 2, right? 2 times 7, we already know, is 14. We just finished saying that. And compare, subtract, compare, bring down my 0. And again, I have to, as long as I keep bringing down, I have to keep dividing. 0 divided by 7 equals 0. And then I multiply again. 0 times 7 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. And I compare, and when there's nothing left to bring down, I'm done. Okay, I know you might not be able to see the bottom part, but it's zeros. And then I put my $ in the front so that my answer is shown, $2.20. Okay, so that's what you are working on. I might come back and just talk through your page with you a little bit, but I wanted to go through review and get to a little bit of your page, but this is getting longer, so I don't want to keep going through the page. I might come back with a quick 5-minute video to go over the page with you. All right, see you in a little bit.